Yes, I do believe in alternate universes. I believe that there are mysteries we haven't yet penetrated, and I really believe that maybe our future is amphibious. So this starts off with Marina. She's a shapeshifter from Aquantis, which is her universe at the bottom of the sea. She's a diplomat spy, and she's here the first time ever to look at Skyworld, which is what this Earth is called, and to meet humans. Our masters always taught us, never try to shapeshift into your land legs if you're hungry, tired, or scared. I was all of these things as my dolphin Tao and I floated in the warm waves off the empty shores of Skyworld. Where are we? I asked him. Gulf of Mexico, circa 2020, according to my acoustic map, he said. We were so hungry and exhausted from the long journey up through the wave hole, but we were under strict orders not to eat anything from Skyworld waters because they were so polluted. I figure we're right off Siesta Key, he told me, in a place called Florida. I hope I can pass for human, I said. Do you think I can? Well, I guess you'll find out, Marina, was all he would say. It was the first time in our 16 years that Tao and I would be separated, though this mission was not our first diplomatic spy assignment to Skyworld. So it kind of goes on. She shapeshifts. It's always painful to shapeshift, as some of you may have experienced, and change into your land legs, but she does it through a signature sound, which is like a personal whistle, a high-frequency singing. And she shapeshifts and she's on shore. So of course she's naked. That'll be the X-rated movie version. And so she has to go to a clothesline and grab a t-shirt that says Nirvana on it. And she then has to get sandals because everything burns her feet. So she's walking into this Siesta Key and she says, I felt lightheaded. I had to find some nourishment even if it was only liquid. When I pinched my skin, it wrinkled, a sure sign of dehydration. Scanning the street for a restaurant that was open, I finally saw a little sign before a ramshackle shop called Sid's Fish Shack. I slipped inside, and the smell was dazzling. Clams, shrimp, even lobster were sizzling over a small fire. I'd never had fried fish, but heard from others in my world that it was quite tasty. My stomach gurgled with hunger. Why hadn't I eaten more from our stash of seaweed and kelp before I came ashore? There were only a few customers, mostly fishermen at the bar, bent over their morning coffee or foaming beers. They'd probably been out all night at sea and were too tired to notice me. At least, that's what I hoped. I glanced anxiously around the fish shack, which was adorned with tattered drift nets and a huge glazed trophy of a bluefin tuna. Fear and hunger swirled in my stomach. What if I was captured and mounted up on someone's wall like that trophy? I'll have your special, I said, repeating a phrase I'd learned in advanced language studies. It was to be used when visiting all foreign worlds. Soon the spicy smell of seafood made me almost gasp with hunger. Before I could stop myself, I grabbed a handful of shrimp and devoured them. The shrimp were delicate with a salty tang and rich seasoning. I had never tasted anything so delicious in my world. No wonder so many people in this world were overweight. I plowed through the entire pile of shrimp before I noticed the waitress was staring at me in dismay. What was I doing wrong? Eating was something all species did, wasn't it? You know, she said, most folks peel them first, honey. That's why they call them peeled shrimp. I heard laughter from a table behind me, and I turned to see several girls. I'd been eating so heartily I hadn't noticed them come in. So we cut to the mean girls scene, right? Every YA novel has to have a mean girl scene because, believe me, it's a pecking order and it is treacherous. Not from around here, is she? One of the girls giggled, nodding toward me. This is why I always ask for a lapel mic. "You think?" one of the others smirked. I imagine there were bullies in any world, but those human girls were really a threat to me. One call to the authorities could be the end of me. I summoned all my courage and smiled, though it felt quite false. "Nirvana?" one of the girls sniffed and nodded at my t-shirt. "Well, who's into grunge anymore? That's a blast from the past." So was there time travel here, too? I wondered. I didn't think Skyworld had evolved that far. Scanning the girls with my sonar, I heard churning stomach gases. They were just as starved as I was. But none of them ate a thing. Why not? Maybe they were so irritated watching me eat because they were really hungry. Eyes rolling, hair flipping, they turned away as if I had some kind of disease. But dismissing me was better than discovering I was not from around here, really, an alien. I didn't look directly at the girls. I expanded my sonar range to study them secretly. The 3 girls were about my age, dressed in stylish tank tops and shorts. Their colorful toenails were what I admired the most. Maybe I could return to Tao that night with painted toenails of my own on my land legs. "That's some tan you got there," one of the girls told me dryly. My skin was the color of the coffee and cream the fishermen were drinking. I tried to pull the t-shirt down over my legs, pale with dark patches. My legs were still too new to match my upper torso. I was two-toned. Perhaps that was unacceptable in their world, and unlike the other girls, my dark, unruly hair was braided with seed pearls. "Mulata," another girl whispered, soft and menacing. Whatever that meant, it wasn't good. It was perhaps a crime. "Mixed blood," another girl sniggered. And then they all glared at me. I had to get out of here, and fast. Obviously, I had failed to fit in as human. How had they recognized that I was of mixed blood, a human and an Aquantan hybrid? I was in very great danger. But how could I ease myself out of the situation before someone called the authorities and they took me and slapped me on a metal lab table to do experiments? Panic rose in me. I realized that unless I got out of here, I was doomed. I was surprised when the waitress came to my defense. "Pay them no mind, honey," she said. "Eat your oysters now. It'll make you sexy." I was grateful for her generosity. From this waitress whose skin tone was even darker than my own. Nodding dutifully, I quickly ate all the oysters as instructed. I was violating orders not to eat, but I couldn't make any more mistakes with these suspicious humans. "You girls ever going to school?" the waitress asked, ambling over to the table and handing them a white slip of paper. Perhaps it was a secret note. "Best get," she said. The girls pointedly ignored the waitress and me, but they did finish their coffee quickly before sauntering past my table. "See you in school," one of the girls quipped. "New girl." Thank you. That's The Drowning World, and it goes a lot of different places, and I really loved writing it.